Here's your 1-minute hook. If you stay with me right now, I'm going to walk you through 10 of the strangest Halloween history facts that most people, including lifelong history fans, never hear. And before I go deeper, let me point out something important. About 70% of people who watch channels like this never subscribe. But those same people also never learn the real origins of holidays like Halloween, because mainstream pop culture has sugar-coated, commercialized, and flattened it into costumes, candy, and plastic decorations. Halloween wasn't built for fun, it was built for survival. It began as a response to winter scarcity, spiritual anxiety, social tension, and the hard reality of communities trying to protect themselves. The more you look at the real historical record, the more you realize how intelligently people engineered rituals to maintain order when everything around them became unpredictable. For serious historians and survival-minded viewers, Halloween isn't childish nostalgia. It is a manual, encoded in myth and tradition, for navigating fear, scarcity, and transition. So let's get into the 10 weirdest, most meaningful facts behind Halloween and why they still matter today. The first strange fact is that Halloween began as a New Year's boundary. Samhain marked the end of the harvest and the start of winter, the moment ancient Europeans expected danger, death, and resource shortages. This boundary mindset is still useful today. Preppers, historians, or anyone who measures yearly cycles can take this principle and set a hard seasonal checkpoint to reassess supplies, goals, and vulnerabilities. Our ancestors treated this day as a psychological and logistical reset. The second weird fact is that costumes were never about fun at all. They were camouflage. People covered themselves in animal hides or ash not to entertain spirits, but to trick them. If a dangerous wandering soul mistook you for one of its own, it passed you by. Today, the principle translates directly, blending into your environment, whether physical, social, or tactical, can reduce threats long before conflict starts. Third, one of the earliest forms of trick-or-treating was actually a survival redistribution system. Medieval souling required richer households to give food to poorer members of the community in exchange for prayers. It was a structured, normalized way to move calories from secure homes to vulnerable ones right before winter. The modern application is clearer than ever. Communities survive by strengthening their weakest links. Every functioning village understood this. Fourth, jack-o'-lanterns were originally carved from turnips, not pumpkins. And, they weren't friendly. They were these horrifying, hard-edged carvings stuffed with embers. These were symbolic traps for malevolent forces, meant to externalize fear into something controllable. The psychological lesson here is simple and, honestly, still relevant. Naming, symbolizing, and containing your fears, rather than ignoring them, gives you mastery. Fifth, Halloween bonfires were originally synchronized communication grids. Villages lit their fires at the exact same time, creating a visible network across the region. These weren't just spiritual lights, they signaled readiness and unity during the most dangerous seasonal shift. In practical terms, this is early emergency communication. Modern neighborhoods or survival groups can use the same principle: coordinated signals, synchronized check-ins, unified readiness markers. The sixth weird fact is one of the most misunderstood. Halloween once doubled as the biggest divination night of the year. People used everything from apples to mirrors to predict marriage, harvest outcomes, or weather. Whether someone believes in divination or not, this behavior shows that societies create forecasting rituals when uncertainty peaks. In today's terms, it's the same instinct behind predictive modeling, scenario training, or even strategic planning. Seventh, Mischief Night once held serious political weight. In the 19th century, American Halloween vandalism wasn't childlike fun. It was class-based rebellion. Gate lifting, livestock harassment and property damage expressed resentment against landowners and local elites. Understanding this dimension explains how holidays often act as pressure valves, a way communities regulate tension before it explodes in more destructive forms. 8th, early Christians tried to suppress Halloween entirely, but when that failed, they absorbed it, creating All Saints and All Souls Days. This wasn't a spiritual decision, it was a political one. Replacing a powerful local ritual with a church-approved alternative was easier than erasing it. For historians, this is a classic case of cultural assimilation as a stabilization strategy. 9th, Halloween postcards from the early 20th century reveal something almost nobody expects. Halloween used to be considered a romantic holiday. People sent flirtatious, fate-driven messages based on the belief that Halloween unveiled hidden truths about relationships. This tells us something bigger. Traditions morph depending on social needs. In eras of social constraint, Halloween became an outlet for romantic risk-taking. And the 10th weirdest fact is this: Halloween survived because it adapts better than almost any other cultural tradition. It has been a pagan winter survival ritual, a religious feast, a matchmaking holiday, a vandalism crisis, a children's festival, and finally a commercial juggernaut. It reinvents itself based on what people fear, need, and hope for. That adaptability is the real secret to its endurance, and it's a principle any survivalist or historian can apply. Systems endure when they evolve. Traditions survive when they remain flexible. And people thrive when they adapt to changing contexts instead of clinging to past versions of themselves. If you want more deep history breakdowns like this, support the channel by subscribing to History Reborn Alive, sharing this episode, and helping us keep real historical storytelling alive.